Now part of the Darkcast Network. Welcome to Indie Podcasts with a Dark Side. In today's episode, we're talking about a woman who thought she can get away with the perfect crime by hiring a hitman to kill her husband. But little did she know, she hired an undercover cop. Let's talk about the woman who said she was 5,000% sure that she wanted to go through with it. It's the case of Dalia Dippolito, right now on Love and Murder. Welcome, lambs. Welcome to a new episode of Love and Murder, your weekly true crime podcast telling you cases of heartbreak that turn to homicide. I am your host, Kai, and in today's episode, we're discussing a case that, the twists and turns in this case, just when you think it's over, it's not. Before we begin, I want to say that this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my lambs and Patreon, patreon.com/Love and Murder. Be sure to subscribe to Love and Murder right now while you're listening so you don't miss a case. If you're new here, go ahead and listen to this episode, and if you like it, don't forget to subscribe. If you didn't know, you can also subscribe on our Patreon so you don't have to hear intros and commercials like this one. You'll get Kai Rants, bonuses, and you'll be a sponsor of Love and Murder. This week, we're having two bonuses come out. One of them is a Kai Rants about a man who's begging to be executed. He's on death row, and he's begging to be executed. And then the other bonus we're having is a serial killer who confessed to his cellmate that he murdered dozens of people. So these are the two bonuses coming out this week in the Patreon. You don't want to miss it. Patreon.com/Love and Murder. In the meantime, though, grab your butts, grab a glass of your delicious BJ's apple juice, murderandlove.com/BJ's, where with my link, your first year's membership fees are only $20. And let's get into some Love and Murder. Dalia Muhammad was born on October 18th, 1982 in New York City. She grew up in a household with an Egyptian father and a Peruvian mother alongside her two younger sisters. When Dalia was 13 years old, her family relocated to Boynton Beach, Florida, where they purchased a 4-bedroom home in a gated community. Dalia's father worked as a waiter and her mother was a health insurer. When Dalia was 17, her parents divorced, and it was just up to her mother to raise her children alone after that. Which I don't understand that. Just because you're divorced, why would you abandon your children? And the next year, in 2000, she graduated from high school. Acquaintances, notice I say acquaintances, not even friends, which is a red flag. Acquaintances describe Dalia as a complex person who was quiet and sweet at times, but also arrogant and prone to throwing tantrums. After graduating high school, Dalia didn't know what she wanted to do, so she moved to California. She got a real estate license and started to work as an escort on the side. As an escort, she traveled between California and Florida really frequently, and she always seemed to have money. I guess her mom was like, "Where'd you get all this money from?" And she was like, "I don't know. People like tipping me." I don't know. Now, it was through her work as an escort that she met Michael Dippolito in October of 2008. Michael was born on December 18th, 1970 in Philadelphia, PA. Michael didn't have the same childhood as Dalia did. He actually had a troubled childhood where he struggled with drug and alcohol abuse. He ended up going into rehab at only age 15. Then in 1997, he moved to Florida, and even then, he still got into a lot of legal trouble and failed relationships. In 2002, he was convicted of unlicensed telemarketing, communications fraud, and grand theft. And he ended up going to prison for 2 years. When he was let out in 2005, he had a 28-year probation and was ordered to pay $222,000 in restitution. Now, let's fast forward to when he met Dalia. At that time, he met Dalia while she was an escort, so meaning he literally hired an escort. He was married. But when he hired Dalia, he met her, he quickly fell for her, and they started going out. He was just going head over heels for her, and he immediately started divorcing his wife, Maria. He then proposed to Dalia with a $26,000 engagement ring only 2 months after they met, which means he's still married and he's proposing to another woman. Then they got married on February 2nd, 2009 at the Palm Beach County Courthouse, which was only 5 days after his divorce was finalized. What a slap in the face, huh? Just, ugh. So after they were married, they moved into a $250,000 condo in Boynton Beach. And as they described it, they had a highly sexual and fun-loving relationship, with both of them loving to watch reality TV. Michael worked from home running his marketing business, and Dahlia just was a rich housewife, I guess. She would go to salons, go shopping, brunch, and once in a while when she felt like it, she did some real estate work. However, just as fast as it started is as fast as it started going downhill. So basically, y'all weren't in love, y'all were in lust. Y'all didn't take time to get to know each other, and now your marriage is falling apart. First of all, Dahlia's relationship with Michael was not her only romantic involvement. While she was married, she had 2 other people that she was seeing at the same time. Then in March of 2009, just a month after their wedding, the police started getting a series of anonymous calls about Michael, and the calls would report alleged drug dealing of cocaine use and cocaine sales by Michael. So that led to the police coming to their property, searching their car constantly. And even one evening when he was taking Dahlia to dinner, the police pulled him over to search his car. When they searched his car, they found cocaine in his pack of cigarettes. But they let him go because he was like, I swear on, look, this is not mine. And they believed him. I don't know. Usually they don't believe people because, everybody says this isn't mine, even if it's not yours. People say it if you're guilty or not. So you can't really tell who's telling the truth. But apparently he was so sincere that they believed him. So because of his background, he's already paranoid when it comes to the police. And after these continuous allegations about him being a drug dealer, which were not true, he got paranoid thinking that one of these charges would stick. So he decided to transfer the deed of their condo to Dahlia. That way he could protect his assets if anything happened to the status of his probation. Also, which led to his paranoia, one time Dahlia had one of her boyfriends pretend to be a lawyer and try to convince Michael that he had completed his probation and everything was good. And then Michael gave her $100,000 to pay off his restitution because, she had him believing that's all he had to do. So he gave her $100,000 saying, here, give this to the lawyer. Let's get this restitution paid off. And she took it. And it never went anywhere because this was her boyfriend pretending to be a lawyer. To which I would never. I'm working with my own. Why would my own legal team not come to me? Like, who's this guy? Just out of the blue. I don't know. Even if I'm with the person I'm with, my spouse or whatever, and I trust them, still, I'm working with my lawyer. Why would I just suddenly work with another lawyer out of the blue? That part doesn't make sense. So Dahlia kept trying to harm Michael, unbeknownst to him. He's head over heels in love. He just thinks, he married the love of his life after divorcing his, oh my God. Anyways, but she just wants him out of the way. So she kept trying to hurt him, including when they went on a trip to the Riviera Beach. She tried to find a hitman. And when that didn't work out, she tried to poison his Starbucks tea with odorless antifreeze. Basically, he got this Starbucks tea, drank it, and then the stomach pains, he was out for I don't remember how long he was sick, but it was a week or something like that. Don't quote me on the length of time he was sick, but he was sick in horrible pain. But obviously that didn't kill him. So after both of these failed attempts and trying to get him in jail and everything like that, and nothing's working, she's like, what does it take? You're like a roach. So in July, what is that? February, March, April, May, June, July. She lasted 5 months of marriage with him. So in July, she went to one of her ex-boyfriends, Mohammed Shihadi, who was actually a part-time actor who worked at a convenience store. She went to him. I don't know where she got this from that he would know. He's a part-time actor who works at a store. But she went to him and said, hey, can you help me find a hitman? And it was like somebody coming up to me. You do a true crime podcast. You know any hitmen? What? Let's take a short commercial break. When it comes to protecting your family, nothing beats peace of mind, right? That's why you need SimpliSafe, the home security system that's affordable, easy to install, and built to keep your family safe. With SimpliSafe, you get reliable 24/7 professional monitoring starting at just $14.99 a month. Whether it's burglary, fire, flood, or even carbon monoxide, SimpliSafe has your back. And here's the best part. It's easy to install yourself. No need to schedule a professional where they say they'll be there between the hours of 9 to 12 and they get there at 7 p.m. You, yourself, can have your home secured in minutes. Plus, SimpliSafe offers flexible, no-contract monitoring options so you're never locked in. Protect your home and family today with an amazing deal. Use my link, murderandlove.com/SimpliSafe50. That's SimpliSafe with an I, SIMPLI, Safe 50 for 50% off any new system, a free camera, and free shipping. Plus, SimpliSafe offers free returns and a 60-day money-back guarantee. What do you have to lose? And what are you waiting for? Secure your home, your family, your office now and sleep easier today. murderandlove.com/SimpliSafe50. That's simply with an I. And now, back to the show. Anyways, so he read right out of Kai's handbook. And he was like, yeah, sure, I got you. Let me see what I could do. And when he left her, as he's walking away, turned the corner, he said, 911. He called the police and told the police, like, my ex-girlfriend just approached me to hire a hitman to kill her husband. I'm not going to do this. So I need your help. So the Boynton Police Department didn't believe him at first, so they decided to open an investigation. Also, by chance, the show Cops, remember that show? Bad boy, what you gonna do? You know that show. Cops was actually working in that area for the week and was working with that police department, so they agreed to film everything. They set up hidden cameras in Muhammad's car and instructed him to schedule a meeting with Dahlia. So on July 30th, Dahlia met Muhammad in a gas station parking lot, and he told her that he had found someone to carry out the hit. He said she would meet the contact 2 days later to coordinate the details of the crime. And then the BPD coordinated with cops to record Dahlia's meetings with the quote-unquote hitman. So they had Officer Wendy Jean go undercover as a hitman to make sure that, let's get this on tape because we have no evidence. We can't move forward with this. So let's get this on tape. So they met on August 1st in a red car in just a random parking lot. During this meeting, she gave pictures of her husband to the hitman. She gave $1,200 in cash to buy a gun. And then Jean asked Dahlia, quote, are you sure you want to kill him? And with no hesitation whatsoever, Dahlia says, quote, there's no changing. I'm determined already. I'm positive. I'm like 5,000% sure. So what she had planned out for the murder was that she was going to be at her gym on the morning of August 5th. So that she would have an alibi. So, they catch her on camera. They can't say she killed her husband, whatever. And while she was at the gym, he was supposed to go and kill her husband. She gave him $7,000 as a down payment for the hit. And then that was it. Between the initial meeting between Muhammad and Dahlia and this meeting with the hitman, and I think it actually goes up to when the hit was supposed to be done, police recorded numerous phone calls between Muhammad and Dahlia. Then, the morning of the murder, Dahlia went to the gym at 6 a.m. as she was supposed to, and while she was there, police set up a fake crime scene at her house, and so when she got back, She saw a bunch of cop cars parked in front of her house, and she saw that there was police tape and it was, sectioned off and whatever. And a forensic photographer was there documenting evidence. And then she just broke down and just, oh my God, no! The performance of her life, which I actually have that video in the Patreon. So when you're part of the Patreon, you do get case extras. So any case that has videos, court documents, pictures, all of that, with the donation of the $3 a month tier, that's the lowest tier, you get all of that. So if you want to see this case has a bunch of videos, a lot of videos. I have video of when they told her that her husband was died, her little performance there. I have video of her interrogation. I have a psychologist talking about her personality in the interrogation. And I have literally the entire trial. So if you want all those videos, then join us at Patreon, patreon.com/love and murder. So anyway, she's given the performance of her life. Like, oh, my husband now. Why? That kind of thing. And Sergeant Paul Sheridan comforted her and then took her to the police station to see if she could identify a suspect. And that's when they brought Officer Jean into the room. He was handcuffed and they said he was the suspect. They said they saw him running from her house, so they arrested him, quote unquote. And he was like, I've never seen her before in my life, officer. And she was like, yeah, officer, I've never seen him before in my life. But then after all of that was done, Mike walked into the doorway and he said, I know everything. And so she was shocked. And she said, quote, Mike, come here, please, come here. I didn't do anything to you, except try and hire a hitman to murder you, stole your money, tried to get you arrested, actually tried to hire a hitman twice, but I didn't do anything to you. But anyways, that's what she said. Mike, come here, please, come here. I didn't do anything to you. And he says, deuces, you're on your own. I don't ever want to see you again, whatever. I don't know. I'd have thrown a chair at her face because I'm like, you really tried to screw up my life, really? And now you want to cry? I'd have literally thrown it. I don't know. I probably would have been put in jail for the day, for the night, for me to calm down because something would have gone flying. But we do not condone violence on this podcast. So then Dahlia was arrested and charged with solicitation of first-degree murder. Now, when she was in jail, her first phone call she made, guess who she made it to, Lambs? Tell me who you think she made her first phone call to. So those of you who said Mike, you would be right. She called Mike. Are you serious? She said, I didn't try and kill you. It wasn't me. How dare you not get me a lawyer to get me out of here, by the way? You just abandoned me? And Mike was like, meh. He said, look, give me the title of my house back, and in return, I'm going to be there for your parents. So the next day, Dahlia was released on a $25,000 bail. Who paid that bill? It didn't say. I hope it wasn't Mike. I hope he stuck to his guns. Maybe it was her parents who paid that bill. I don't know. But then in the spring of 2011 is when her trial began, where prosecutors argued that Dahlia's actions were not impulsive, but they were planned out. So they said she did plan out this murder in a sophisticated and calculated manner. They said the motive was financial gain. They said she wanted her husband dead so she can gain control of his assets. They also said that she wanted to start a new life with somebody else without her husband being there, obviously, and with his money. The defense said, no. That's not what happened. Our client, Your Honor, was aware of this being filmed by cops and by an undercover officer. And it was her husband, Michael, that guy over there, who was so desperate to become a reality TV star that he convinced her to do this whole murder for hire video. It was a stunt that Michael Dippolito, whether he'll admit it or not, hoped to capture the attention of someone in reality TV. Michael Dippolito's hoax to achieve fame and fortune was a bad prank. So they presented evidence at trial, both the defense and the prosecution. It showed video footage of Dahlia plotting the murder. It showed a manipulative woman trying to basically start a new life without her husband. They talked about when he got sick. So they didn't know if there was something to that. He started recounting all these things that were happening. They talked about the $100,000 that she took from him. They brought forward witnesses, like everything. Like it was like basically an open and shut case. So she was found guilty and convicted to 20 years in prison. And that is the case of no, it's not. There's so much more. In a weird twist, Dahlia's defense team successfully appealed the conviction, y'all. They argued that the jury selection process had been flawed. And in 2014, the appeals court agreed, ruling that the trial court had erred by not taking adequate precautions to ensure prospective jurors hadn't learned the details of the case beforehand. And the decision led to an overturning of her sentence and opened up the stage for a new trial. Now ask me this. Riddle me this, if you may. You have all kind of evidence. You could have done this case without a jury. You could have done this case with literally just a judge looking at the evidence and saying guilty. Who cares? Like, oh my God, sometimes the law, I tell you. So anyway, wasting more money. The second trial started on December 2016. Now, this time, defense took a new strategy. Her attorneys aggressively attacked the BPD. They said the way they conducted this investigation was horrendous. They pushed the whole narrative about starring on the Cops TV show. They tried to discredit key witnesses, including Muhammad, because remember, he was a struggling actor. So they were like, oh, you were just trying to get your big break, weren't you? They said he was also pressured into becoming an informant. And their strategy proved effective as the jury deadlocked in a 3-3 split, leading Judge Glenn Kelly to declare a mistrial. How? The case was there on a silver platter with gold forks and spoons, and you could eat diamonds. Everything was there. This is blowing my mind. So she went for a third trial. This one started in June of 2017. So now the prosecution is doing something different this time. Dude, they are reaching into all kind of playbooks for these trials. 3 trials on the same case that had evidence handed to you. I don't understand it. Anyways, this time they called Michael to the stand to testify against his wife, which I don't understand why they didn't do that in the first place. But Michael said he experienced significant emotional distress because of his wife's murder for hire plot. I mean, who wouldn't? He expressed disbelief at the ongoing legal proceedings. Look, I'm not even in it, and I'm expressing disbelief because I can't even get. Anyway, he said, quote, "It's not even real. It's like I can't even believe we're still sitting here like this girl didn't even try to do this." Literally what I said. He said the case that's been going on for this long keeps adding trauma to his already traumatized brain, and he has to keep reliving the events multiple times in his head. Imagine a person you love so much that you only dated for 3 months. You gave this huge ring to. You divorced the other person that you were with because you love this person so much. You thought you had found the one. And this bag of scumbags sits here and tries to have you murdered. You think you're in the love bubble, and that person is on the murder hill, aiming for the love bubble. Like, that is traumatizing. Like, after that, who are you going to trust? Really? You're going to get into a relationship and trust this person? You'll be sleeping with both eyes open. Actually, you won't even sleep with the person in your house. You have your house, they have their house, and you can meet, and then you go back to your house. Like, you'll never trust anybody again. He told the court that he faced numerous legal and financial issues due to this. He still now owes $191,000 in restitution because, his previous fraud conviction, and he had given her the $100,000 and she just shit it away. He also said that he now owes $400,000 to the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commissions and $342,000 in unpaid taxes. Now, honestly, is that because of Dahlia or is that because of you? I don't know. Maybe she was just running up his tab or whatever. I don't know. But he brought this up in court. And he also says with all that going on, he's still on probation until 2032. Wow, it's 2024. He's still on probation, lambs. Well, the defense came back and they used their same defense as in the second trial, because I guess they figured it worked once, it might as well work again. So they said everything that they said before, but this time they pulled a rabbit out of their hat. This time they're saying that police failed to investigate whether she was a victim of domestic abuse. Hey, you know what? We didn't mention the first 2 times. He was beating her. You didn't investigate that, did you? He was beating her. And that's why this all happened. Where did this even come from? Let's play victim hard. He was beating her. Are you serious? And they said this oversight, you didn't investigate domestic abuse, and this oversight is what tainted the investigation from the start. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at domestic abuse. I'm laughing at the fact that they tried to pull that crap out their buttholes. Really? But prosecutors were yeah, okay. We still maintain that her motive was financial gain, seeking control of the house, seeking control of the savings, trying to start a new life with somebody else while she has his money. We're still maintaining that. And also, Exhibit A, let's bring out some text messages and videos that we brought out the first time, but we didn't bring out the second time, so we're bringing it out this time. Maybe this time y'all will listen. Text messages, videos from the stage crime scene, pictures from the stage crime scene, voicemails, recordings. Let's bring this all back that we didn't do the second time, which I don't even know why they didn't do it the second time, but hey. So this time, and finally, Dahlia was found guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. Judge Glenn Kelly sentenced her to 16 years in prison, saying that this was committed in, quote, a sophisticated way in a calculated fashion. Which, you said that the first time, so that should have kept her in prison, but I don't know. On top of that, the judge reduced Dahlia's sentence from the original 20 years to 16 years due to 2 mitigating factors. First, that she had no prior criminal record, and second, that she had been under house arrest this whole time. So he gave her credit for 163 days that she had already spent in jail. And so now it went down between the house arrest and all of that from 20 years to 16 years. And my thing is, she tried to have the man killed. Just because she didn't rob a convenience store before in her life, that is a factor to lower your sentence? Really? Wow. Of course, Dahlia's attorneys vowed to appeal the conviction on several grounds, including allegations of juror misconduct. Those damn jurors misconducting? So they did appeal it. They argued that she had been a victim of entrapment by the police. Entrapment, I say. And that the trial court had erred in allowing certain evidence. Those videos, I'm telling you, they should have not been allowed as evidence. So that's what they appealed. And the 4th District Court of Appeal wrote a 7-page ruling, 7 pages, a 7-page ruling in 2017 and upheld Dahlia's conviction and her 16-year prison sentence, which personally, I would have added back those 4 years for your gall. Over the years, her defense has been trying to appeal because I guess they figured it worked once. Why won't it work again? So they've been trying to appeal, but various appeals have been rejected. And as of now, Dahlia is serving her prison sentence at Lowell Correctional Institution, Annex in Marion County. And her attorney has said that the legal battle is far from over, meaning that I guess she's going to keep wasting money, which, where is she getting this money? Of course her attorney is going to keep appealing if that keeps getting his light bill paid. I mean, he's just going to keep filing appeal after appeal. Just pay me. My child is in private school. I need to pay rent. I need to pay my mortgage, whatever. But my thing is, where is she getting this money? So I'd also like to get into Dahlia's personality traits because in my research, I realized that that was a very important analysis. So a lot of people were interested in her personality and they described her as having a superficial charm and an ability to manipulate men with ease. They said that her actions during the murder for hire plot revealed a disturbing lack of empathy and remorse, and that during her interactions with the undercover officer posing as a hitman, she appeared remarkably calm and relaxed while negotiating the terms of her husband's murder. This behavior suggests a high level of comfort with criminal activities and a disregard for the gravity of her actions. Experts have noted that Dahlia exhibits traits associated with narcissism and psychopathy. These include a grandiose sense of self, entitlement, and a tendency to engage in pathological lying. Her ability to maintain her innocence in the face of overwhelming evidence has been particularly striking, with law enforcement officials expressing amazement at her capacity for deception. Dahlia's behavior aligns with characteristics such as low conscientiousness, high extroversion, low agreeableness, and low neuroticism. Her actions throughout the case demonstrates a failure to accept responsibility for her behavior and a propensity for criminal versatility. It's important to note that despite her troubled actions, Dahlia did not come from a broken home. She was raised in a loving and supportive family environment, which makes her criminal behavior all the more perplexing. Some experts suggest that her upbringing may have contributed to her sense of entitlement and inability to face consequences for her actions. So being in a good household makes her feel entitled, and what? So she should have been abused so that, okay, I don't understand that, but okay. So basically, this is a back-to-back case of a person who was described as very manipulative. So if you go back and listen to the Black Widow, the case of Dina Thompson, the link is in the show notes below. And I want you to let me know in the comments if you notice any similarities between Dina and Dahlia, except that the fact that both of their names start with a D. This is like two women who basically almost got away with murder just due to how manipulative they were and charming. And, people just, I don't know, they charmed the pants off of everyone, even the law. I don't know how that could be. And I know once again you thought we were done, but I do have one more thing to tell you. After everything, Mohammed expressed regret and remorse for his role as an informant in Dahlia's case. He did say that he felt pressured by the police to cooperate with them, or they told him that he would face prosecution himself, which I'm prone to believe because that's what I see on TV. And TV's always right. So he felt like he had no choice but to cooperate with them. He said he also feared for his life and received death threats from Dahlia's family and friends. Why would you get okay, maybe that's where her sense of entitlement comes from, because she was going to murder this man and Mohammed stepped in to prevent a murder like any decent human being would do. And her friends and family were like, we'll kill you for doing this to Dahlia. But I mean, that's his word. There's no evidence on it. I mean, I don't really think he would lie, but you never know. He said he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and depression as a result of his involvement in this whole case. He did say he felt sorry for Dahlia and he still cared for her. Oh my God. He said he hoped that she would get out of prison soon and was able to start a new life. Dude, she was trying to kill somebody. He said instead of turning her over to the police, he wished he could have helped her in a different way. Yeah, she probably would have killed you too. And then on October 24th, 2021, when he was 40 years old, Mohammed was found dead in his apartment in Sebring, Florida. What happened was his family had been trying to reach him for 2 days and they were unable to reach him, so they sent his brother there, and his brother went into his apartment and found his body. To this day, police have not revealed the cause of his death, but we do know that an autopsy and a toxicology test was done. We also know prescription medicine was found at the scene, but they were not prescribed to him. And we also know that they found a line of white powder on a countertop, a crack pipe, and a syringe under a mattress. According to police reports, it stated that Muhammad had met with a homeless woman by the name of Linda Lavelle at a park the night before his death. They went to a motel room with another man, and while they were there, the man forced Muhammad to take some heroin and cocaine to prove that he wasn't a cop. So I guess you work with cops, nobody in the underground is going to trust you anymore, but why would you still be in the underground? That's my question. Anyways, so he had him do all those drugs to prove that he wasn't a cop, which, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're not used to taking drugs and you take heroin and cocaine, couldn't that kill you? Even if you're used to taking drugs, couldn't that kill you? I'm not sure, but it just sounds like it could kill you. The next day, Linda was found dead on the bed and Muhammad was collapsed outside the room's door. When police looked at the crime scene, both of them initially had died on the bed, but then, as you know, they found Muhammad outside the room's door, but they said they didn't know how he was moved from the bed to the door. So it's speculation on our part that he died from a drug overdose because police haven't released that. And I searched and I searched and I searched, and the only thing that came up was they were waiting for a toxicology report, but that was 2021. I don't think it takes that long. So it's alleged that he died from a drug overdose. It sounds like foul play to me if you're saying you don't know how he was moved. So this sounds like kind of murder, but let's do an open and shut case on this one, but let's do 3 trials on Dahlia's. Anyway, that was the case of Dalia Dippolito. What did you think about that case? The ups and downs, the twists and turns, the roller coaster ride? Let me know. And like I said, listen to the case of the Black Widow, which the link is in the show notes below. And definitely let me know what you think about the similarities in these 2 women. I would totally be fascinated about a psychological breakdown on both of them, because I just don't understand how you could be so charismatic that people throw away their good sense just to, be in your presence. I can't fathom that. Have you, lambs, met anybody that damn charismatic? Let me know in the show notes below. Like you've done something stupid and you look back on it now and you're just like, why the fuck did I do that? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of Dina, for that episode, I did ask, do you think that she was just a serial killer or just a serial fraudster? Because remember, they couldn't prove that she had killed anybody else. They didn't know, but they think there might be more people out there. So that was my question. And Christina Bobo said, I definitely think she's a serial offender, and I bet my bottom dollar that she will do it again. Side note, I wonder what she said to convince Lee that he had to leave his home to protect them from the mafia. This man was paying for her to shack up with her new husband for years, and that's diabolical work, as the kids say. I feel so bad for Julian's mom because she tried to warn him, but love makes you so blind to reality. Dina chose the ultimate birthday present and didn't even let his mama say happy birthday. Trifling. Thankfully, her decision to not cremate him helped bring her to justice. She should have received the death penalty, to be honest, and I don't know why they didn't just try her again for Richard's attempted murder after new light was shed on Julian's suicide. This case had me in my feelings, for sure. I think her being a woman, probably with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, played a part. No offense. This played a major part in the decision of the powers that be. Lastly, why did it take the witness more than 6 years to snitch about her confessing to murder? I would have gone straight to the police. Thank you, Christina. So, yeah, I was wondering why they didn't reopen the case into Richard after this. That was really, again, like I was saying, another case of charming the law. I don't really know. That was crazy. But after they found out that Julian didn't commit suicide, they should have opened Richard's case because clearly he was telling the truth. I don't really think that it had anything to do with her, batting those blue eyes and having long blonde hair. I think it's the psychology of the whole manipulation, just like with Dahlia, because Dahlia had brown eyes, brown hair, brown skin, and look, it took 3 trials before she was even found guilty. I think it's that manipulative behavior, and I don't know. I want to know the psychology behind that so bad. I'm like chomping at the bit to learn about that psychology, how people could just look past what they know is right, what is right in front of their eyes, because this person is so manipulative. Like, I don't understand that. And as for the witness, I have no idea. Maybe she was threatened. Maybe she said, if you ever say anything that, I don't know, we're going to get your dog. I have no idea why somebody would take 6 years to confess. Like, hey, she just told me this crazy. Because I personally, like you, I would have straight called 911. Like, oh, really? Wow, that's crazy. Well, I forgot to tell you, girl, I'm moving. Yeah, this is the last week of my lease, of my house, whatever, but I'm moving and you'll never find me. And after I move, I'm calling 911 to tattle. What did I always tell you, lambs? I'm going to sing like a bird. I am not the one. Don't call me and confess crap to me. I am not the one because I'm not going down with you. I'm not going down with you or for you. But yeah, thank you for that comment, Christina, and everybody else. Go ahead and leave a comment. I don't think anybody answered this poll, but I do love reading your comments on air. I do love hearing what you have to say. So go ahead and leave me a comment on this case. Let me know what you thought about this case. Let me know if you've had anybody in your life that has made you do something stupid that, at the time you thought it was the best thing to do, but looking back at it now, you're just like, I'd love to hear that story. And if you want me to keep your name out of it, I totally will. Just put anonymous before the story and I'll just read out the story without telling your name. But I would love to hear your story. And that is all I have for you today. Don't forget that a free and easy way to help out Love and Murder is by simply sharing this episode. So we share the episode with everyone we know and everyone we don't, which means go ahead and share it with your friends and family and also share it on your social media. If you do want to help Love and Murder out monetarily and get some extras in the meantime, go ahead and join us on patreon.com/Love and Murder. Other than that, I want to thank you so much for supporting Lamb. And as we say at the end of every full episode, I remind you that it's, say it with me now, all love and no murder, y'all. See you in the next episode. Also, don't forget to listen to my commercial guests at the end. Bye.
Did you know that only one professional baseball player has been killed while playing the game? What about the fact that one of the most poignant last words ever were spoken by a parrot? Each week on Famous Last Words, we'll examine some of the final thoughts of some of the most fascinating people in history. From presidents to murderesses, from business innovators to teen pop icons. That's Famous Last Words, part of the Darkcast Network, available right now wherever you get your podcasts.